Welcome back for a new episode of 2 Weeks, One Shot, a tabletop RPG variety podcast. Sorry about the delay on this week's episode. In case you haven't heard, I'm having a baby, and it kind of takes up a lot of time and doesn't leave a lot of time for editing. But anyway, this is the second episode of One Last Job. So if you're jumping in on this one, why don't you just press pause and you can jump back over to the previous episode so you can catch up on all the dumb that we're putting out there. And then that way you can jump back over to this one, you're all caught up. Before we jump into the adventure, just want to give you all a heads up that the mid-roll has some information about a survey we're currently conducting that we'd like your feedback on. This is your chance to give us criticism, feedback, right? Let us know what you think about the show. But anyway, right, stick around for the mid-roll and I will talk a little bit more about it. For now, let's get into the adventure. Previously on 2 Weeks, One Shot.
Joseph G. Atterbury's the name, High Priest of the Scrumbulus. I know the approximate location of the one, the only, Mustic Mingus. I know it's in a forgotten temple smack dab in the middle of the Amazon. There's only one man I know who I'd trust to find it.
Florida Woods, I'm way past my prime. We're gonna have to get through the Jaguar's Labyrinth. And there's only one person I know who can get through the Jaguar's Labyrinth.
Alright, I'm Shaquille O'Neal. There's one more thing that I think you've not taken account of, and that is the piranha koi pots.
You find Greebly McSnakey at Greebleson's McSnakery's Bait Shop and Orphanage 2. I don't know how we're gonna get past the giant Venus fly traps.
Yeah, hey, Mr. McSmarty Pants here. If we're gonna do this, we're gonna need somebody to deal with the locals.
You would find Ronnie McDonald on his farm. Howdy doodly over there, all my old friends. So where we going, boys? Are we going back to Florida? Are we going to New York? Are we going to Montana? Where we going, boys?
We're going to the Amazon jungle. Cut to montage.
I assume we're flying in suits, right? We're flying in suits?
You're flying in whatever you want to be flying in, I guess.
Like an open-doored plane with chicken coops, obviously, is the only way.
Of course.
Yeah,
Like-
there you go.
It's extremely loud as we see you all in the plane flying toward the Amazon. Some would say that flying in a plane like that on an international flight, probably not a good plan, but it's all the cult can afford at this point, and you're all happy enough to have even that. And Joseph G. Atterbury is there to go over final plans with you as we are now sort of segueing from the introduction of characters portion of the game into the gameplay of the game, which is going to sort of follow a pattern as we go through the 5 scenes that you guys have set up. The five obstacles, the 5 encounters you will have in your quest for the Mustic Mingus, with each of you in turn taking sort of the lead role as we enter that scene. And you're going to try and figure out how to accomplish things. And the first part of that is that every scene begins with the planning scene, setting it up. And our first planning scene narratively will take place sort of as you're maybe landing in Brazil and getting ready to go to the Amazon. Joseph G. Atterbury is going to be staying in the city that you have landed at. And the rest of you will be making your way into the jungle. But the night before you're setting out, he does sort of call you all to his hotel room, and you're all sort of there with maps laid out and drinks and all sorts of stuff. All your equipment is being prepared. And he does sort of gesture for everyone to gather around and says, "All right, so I see you've assembled the team, and it is quite a team indeed. Seems we have here the same sort of team that we had going into the Congo all those years ago. Hopefully this one goes a lot better. I know that we have a lot of ups and downs in our history, boys, and I know that we have some sour notes that we might need to be getting over, but by God, if we can't by the Scrumbulus. If we can't put all that behind us and make something happen here, you boys need to go out there in the jungle and mix it up and find that Mingus for us. It's the one thing that'll keep this cult going, and if you do it right, why, the 6 of us are all gonna be rich beyond our wildest dreams and with more power than you can shake a stick at. So, I understand that you've established that the first order of business you'll be needing to get through is probably dealing with some of the locals. There's a couple of villages on the way, or mainly one in particular that you might need to figure out how to either sweet talk them or get around them or do something to make your way through into the deeper parts of the jungle to find the temple. And I understand that Ronnie, you there, Mr. McDonald, you're the one who's gonna be leading the charge on that case.
That's right. As usual, you have me doing the hard part of whipping up and warming up and licking up the locals, and I know I'm totally fine with doing that as usual.
I really wish you would only do one of those things. The other two are a little bit questionable, but I leave it in your capable hands. I will ask.
You know what, Abernathy? But while I have you here,
that's not my name.
You my what is it again?
It's Atterbury.
Atterbury, of course. You are the cult leader, and of course the worshiping man that I, of course, I am loyal to. And I just gotta say, I'm so glad to have joined this cult after so many years. It's really just so wonderful to be part of the cult and be living in this cult life. You know, I mean, even as a recluse on my farm, I try to keep to the cult standards. I do the cult prayers 3 to 7 times a day. I sacrifice every 5th lamb I raise. It's very, very sad, of course, but
all as the Scrumbulus commands. Sounds like you're doing a beat-up job of it.
Naturally, I'm doing as much as I can doodly do, of course. And by the way, can I introduce you to my good friend Jim Jones? He's a young man, but I think he's really going to move up.
No, we're not going to talk about him.
You might really enjoy this trip to the jungle.
We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about that one. We're not going to worry about him.
All right, fine.
The point of this is that you boys are going to be going out there. So anyway, Ronnie, Mr. McDonald, what exactly do you think is your rough plan? How do you think you're going to be going in to deal with these locals?
Well, naturally, I have been spending this airplane ride, doing my doodly research, of course, doing what I can to find out about the little locals here. And I have found out that they are, of course, a very dynamic and diverse culture of many different types of people.
Absolutely, but you're only going to be dealing with one village.
Oh yes, of course. The Nrmb'rjuu village. The Nrmb'rjuu village. The Nrmb'rjuu people.
Do you want to take another crack at that one?
Nope, it's the Nrmb'rjuu people.
There's still time to take all this back.
No, I said it. It came out. It's a word. It's Nrmb'rjuu. It's Nrmb'rjuu, the Nrmb'rjuu people with a very beautiful set of cultures and distinct physical traits. They have beautiful red, bloodshot eyes. They reek of the stinky local plants, of course, like many villages do. They're bald from the shoulders up, but very hairy around the pits.
Mr. McDonald, I don't really need to know all this information. I'm glad that you do, because someone needs to, and you're the man whose job that is. But the point of this is simply, if you could give me like one single word to encapsulate the idea of how you're going in, like you're going in, normally if I was sending you boys into, say, a mob gathering, and there's a bunch of mobsters inside and you're going to need to take them out, you might say you're going in loud, or you're going in guns blazing, or you're going in quiet, or you're going in undercover, or whatever it might be. Could you give me a word like that to describe how you're going in to talk to this village?
We're going in friendly.
All right, I like it.
That's right. We're going in very nice.
They'll never expect it. That's why, Ronnie, we had to have you.
All right, that seems like a good play to me if you're going to be trying to deal with these locals in a smooth-talking, sweet-talking fashion, rather than trying to just, if you boys end up having to blaze your way through a local village, we just won't put it in the report.
Just like we did in Congo, right? We didn't talk about any of those villages. Not a single one of those 27 villages.
And we still won't. Everybody raise your glass. Let's clink them together and cheers for this a toast to our success. Clink.
Clinky.
Clinky.
And you boys, get out there and be somebodies.
This shack gets better with every glass.
I still, it's good, but you still gotta try this fish key.
It goes well together.
That's what I said. It's badass when you mix them.
We call this a Long Island?
Did I mention there's a royalty charge for any time you say shack yak?
All right, so our first planning scene being, it sure was a planning scene. And now that that's done, we've established that our leader for this scene is Ronnie McDonald the Recluse, played by Harold. So you are sort of the team lead. You get to choose if you want to go first when we enter the action scene. You also are the team leader who can decide to pull out from the action scene if things get too dangerous as you're dealing with things. But moving into the action scene, we're going to actually get into the gameplay. And so the key thing to note just at the start of the action scene, the two key things to note is when we're talking about, rolling and making rolls and everything, we'll get into the nitty gritty of that as things come up. But the main thing that you're working towards is filling successes, marks on the completion track for the scene. Our first scene has a completion track of 5 successes. So you need to succeed 5 times on your rolls in order to fill up that track and complete the scene. And you're rolling against something called the danger pool, which is basically my pool of dice that I roll against you. And we'll talk about the exact nature of how we determine who succeeds, but know that the danger pool starts at a certain rating and increases with every round of the scene. So the longer the scene goes, the more the tension gets ratcheted up, the harder it might be for you to succeed.
Interesting.
So our first action scene is going to be that cultural sort of experience, right?
The most exciting kind of action.
That cultural sort of experience.
Exactly, dude. Well, walk with me here. Picture this scene as we're entering the jungle, and we have maybe a little montage of you guys starting to just get through the jungle. But then we stumble upon, an overlook, and there's the village down below, and we've got the locals in the village. They're smack dab in your path. And because of the way that the path goes, there's no way really around this village easily. You're going to basically have to go through it or interact with them in some way in order to continue your trek towards where you believe the temple of the Mustic Mingus to be.
Of course.
So once again, Ronnie, you are sort of the lead of this scene. So you can go first if you would like to do something, or if anyone else wants to do something, we'll talk about how that is accomplished, what you'll be rolling, and all of that as we get started here. And just to give you guys a little something more to work with, you come to the overlook, you're looking out at this village, it's in the way, and as you're looking, a couple of the locals do sort of turn and spy 5 strangers at the outskirts of the village, and one of them raises their sort of fist in what might be sort of just a greeting, or what might be some sort of angry or fearful display.
I already recognize that's the Nrmb'rjuu hand sign for do you have any change? It must be a hard season for them. This let's say late fall. It's a late fall here in the jungle. I don't know. It's a little chilly. It's a little chilly. Well, I suppose here we are about to start this interaction. Of course, I'm taking the lead as I always do in these interactions with people, because I'm such a people person, as we have established. Shaquille O'Neal, why don't you come with me? You are such a diminutive person. You will create a sense of comfort for them as your tiny hands will seem quite comical to them in the village.
I'll cover you from back here, and pull out my fishing rod. It extends out of my pocket like a sniper rifle. I've got it prepped to cast a hook at any aggressors.
I like that a lot. Well, I don't know about you two, Mixed Smarty Pants, and I want to say...
What's my name? You know it.
It was so long ago already. I want to say
Arizona.
It was something like Lubbock, Florida. That's
Perfect.
What it was. Lubbock, Florida.
Nailed it in one.
It's my new name.
Lubbock is his birth name. Florida, we named the dog Florida.
Yes. Well, you two decide what you like to do. If you want to come down and maybe meet some of these fine village girls, or if you like to take a spot up there on the ledge and perhaps shoot down at these simple simple village people in case I might need a sign of aggressive violence.
I'm gonna scout the perimeter. I'm gonna make sure there's not any dangerous animals coming around or orphans trying to make their way in. Just keeping the area orphan animal free.
Orphan animals, I know, is a big dingly problem, even on my ranch. Mm-hmm.
Orphans or animals? Never mind. I'm gonna...
Orphaned animals. Animals who, like Bambi, who have lost their mother to terrible farmers and hunters who come in and kill just the parents and leave the babies to fend for themselves.
It's like a plague of orphans attacking the United States. Anyway, all right, I'll be back.
Well, since we are supposed to be going in friendly, Shaq pulls out several glasses. And hands you two bottles of Shaq Yak.
Oh, well, wonderful. Yes, this might be a wonderful gift to give the villager, or perhaps they might use it as a lighter fluid in the cold months. All right, now, Shaquille, come with me now, and make sure to walk without rhythm, lest they sense that you are a danger, and they may swallow you whole. All right. Ronnie McDonald walks with his little feet. Walks on down into the village. Yes, he does. Mm-hmm.
So one last job. Unlike a fair number of games, you're not necessarily when we're doing the action scenes here. I'm not going to be calling for like skill checks or anything like that, right? You're not really doing specific individual tasks and you're rolling against a set like DC. Instead, you guys are all rolling against collectively sort of the scene in general at large that's happening. And one of the things about this game is that right now, all of your characters are pretty vague and blank. We just know the little bits that we've established about each other. We know in theory what sort of tasks you guys have been brought on to accomplish over the course of this journey. But we don't really know a whole lot more about your characters than that. Now, you guys do have 4 abilities at your disposal that you should be seeing for this setting of One Last Job. Those 4 abilities are Blood, Money, Secrets, and Shadows, which are very sort of vague general ideas of different things that you might do. Given things that you're trying to do, we'll determine sort of collectively what ability best fits that. And as of right now, you guys just have those 4 abilities. You don't have anything else special about you until we establish that during the course of play with anecdotes. And hopefully we'll start getting into that soon. So that said, who wants to actually like do something and roll for it? Some specific thing that you're attempting to accomplish.
I do. I'm gonna, because I'm trying to like real stealthy get in a good spot to sniper fish someone.
Okay.
So shadows?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. So Greebly McSnakey may comment to the others that he's going to be sort of trying to find a sneaky spot to get to. And so you would be rolling your shadows for that. And again, because we haven't established anything yet, you would be considered to have the basic average rating of 2, which is what you get in that before anything is established.
Can I boost myself?
No. You cannot do anything to your own rolls in order to do that. However, I will put it out there as Greebly McSnakey is going off to try and he's trying to sneak off to do something. If anyone wants to tell an anecdote or establish anything about Greebly McSnakey as a character, now is potentially a good time to do it, specifically with regard to that ability of shadows, because every group has to have someone who's the worst at something and someone who's the best at something. And right now, none of you are established as either of those things for any of our 4 abilities. But all it takes is one person throwing it out there and the player of that character accepting it as true to establish that one of you is the worst or best. And someone has to be the worst before anyone can be the best at any one ability in this game.
I can't believe we let McSnakey go on out there and try to sneak. I mean, last time in the Congo, we were supposed to sneak the bus through Alligator River. And while Shaquille O'Neal was driving the bus, and God, look at what happened to those orphans. Just hit by a stampede of yaks right into that god dang river.
What did I do for that? That is me.
You didn't sneak the bus through, you know.
I thought you didn't say the words. He's the worst at sneaking.
He's the worst. Oh God, those.
Wait, I'm the worst because he drove a bus?
Yeah.
Because of yaks?
Yeah, he was his job to drive and your job to sneak it through the river.
So Shaquille's a bad driver, so he's a bad sneaker?
Yeah, that's right. Look at what happened to those orphans.
All right.
I'm assuming we're only establishing things about people who are doing action.
Actively, right?
Yes. Anecdotes are only count when you're establishing something for someone else's role that's happening.
There's not like a bonus for including others?
Well, here's what I will say. So the establishing part of the anecdote can only apply to the person who's actually making the role. So the first thing to ask is, Zach, as you're playing Greebly McSnakey, who's in question here, are you willing to accept that Greebly McSnakey is in fact the worst at the ability of shadows, the worst at sneaking and everything like that?
100%, because he has a habit when he's like really concentrating on something to sing to himself. Mm-hmm. So he gets down in the grass and he's army crawling. Mm-hmm. Country road, take me home.
The famous 1937 smash hit, Country Roads.
As I walk towards the village, I'll say, you know what, I gotta say, man, that fisherman, one of the best singers I've ever heard in my entire life.
I belong.
But he does always have that kid John hanging around.
So a couple things are happening here. First off, Greebly McSnakey.
Yep.
Because you've accepted being the worst at shadows, your ability rating for shadows is now established as 1.
Boom.
Everything else, it's still a vague 2 at the moment that could be subject to change.
Cool.
The second thing is that because you've accepted being the worst at something, you gain 2 points of grit, which is a resource that you all have that you can spend to get extra dice on actions, and also you can spend it to avoid taking damage to your stamina, which is your other resource of if you lose all your stamina, you are like knocked out or unconscious or have something bad happen to you.
Okay.
Second is Alex, who's playing Florida Woods, because you told the anecdote and you did include another character as part of the anecdote, albeit in a very strange way.
I did.
That it's wrapped around in the end, so I'm going to be gracious with you guys. Because you told an anecdote that includes a different character in it, you also gain 1 point of grit. For mentioning that anecdote.
So do I only roll 1 dice for this now? Or do I add a?
So right now, you are rolling 1 single D10 die to try and beat, hoping to roll higher than whatever I roll highest on my dice.
Well, I mean, you're not going to beat my 1, so my crescendo...
You roll the 1? Uh-oh.
Yeah, my crescendo ends in a really loud coughing fit because I crawl through Amazonian dandelions and inhale this big puff, just like I eat this thing straight up my nose. You
absolutely do, and that actually it sends you into a coughing fit as you inhale it, and it fills up your lungs. So 2 things are happening here. You rolled a 1 on your die, and I rolled a 10 on one of my dice for the danger pool. So that means that's triggering 2 special things. Those are the 2 special things that can happen with our die rolls. Whenever one of you rolls a 1 on your die, it immediately adds another die to the danger pool.
Oh, balls.
So the danger pool is now 3. And whenever I roll a 10, that die is subtracted from that singular roll, but not from the pool overall. And you lose 1 point of stamina for the 10 that I rolled. So you have lost 1 point of stamina.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
How many stamina do I start with?
You start with 3.
Oh.
In this game, I'm counting, I'm keeping track of stamina and grit with some M&Ms on my desk. So first off, Zach, what color do you want to be? I've got red, orange, green, yellow, and blue.
I'm gonna be sexy green, and you can't stop me. If I'm gonna be the worst at sneaking, I'm gonna be sexy.
You're gonna be wearing high heels while you do it.
You're sexy green, and you're losing 1 M&M from your stamina.
We get to watch Brian eat the M&M that corresponds to us. Oh no!
Yeah.
This is so kinky, Brian.
I gotta say, as a lifelong GM, that's gotta be satisfying. Just, I am literally eating your health in front of you as a GM.
Oh yeah, no, like I'm eating one of your health points, and that's you. There's nothing you can do to stop it. And you've added another one to the danger pool, which is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Tabletop can be helpful, folks. It's all up to you.
So there we go. Greebly McSnakey has introduced us to our very first, a lot of mechanics in our very first roll of the night.
Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome.
Folks, we've done a lot of heist type adventures on this show, but this one is certainly another one of them. Big, huge thanks to Chris and Zach. Chris, of course, is the DM for Carney Sideshow, a Twitch-streamed actual play show where the cast plays a variety of adventures every week. They are a great show that highlights diversity and has a lot of fun while doing it, and it's just a great cast, and it's always great adventures, and it's a lot of fun. Make sure to head on over to twitch.tv/Carney Sideshow and check them out. Also, Zach, aka Conan Librarian, he is an emissary for the Obsidian Portal, which is a website for TTRPG campaign management where you can plan the various assets of your TTRPG campaign and connect with an entire community of DMs and players while you're at it. It's a great resource. It's very useful. Check it out when you get a chance. There will be links to everything in the show notes. So, about that survey I mentioned in the intro, we're trying to figure out a little bit of what works for the show and what doesn't work for the show, what parts of it people are listening to, and what parts you're just skipping through. Maybe this is one of them. Maybe you're missing this whole thing right now. Well, if you are, we want to know. So, check the show notes. There is a link to a survey on Google Forms where you can fill out and give us fairly, I believe, detailed feedback about the show. Full transparency, I've noticed we've had a bit of a drop in downloads, so we're wondering, right, what, if that's due to something that we're doing, aside from being late on posting our own episodes, but, this is your chance, again, to directly give us feedback in a completely anonymous fashion. We are not recording any emails when this gets sent out, and really we're looking to get honest criticism and honest, again, feedback for what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and what could be improved, or what else you'd like to see more of us. So again, after you're done listening to this episode, or hell, even while you're listening to it, head on over to the show notes, click on the link for the survey, and take some time to let us know what you think. Once you've done that, make sure to join us next week on Tuesday, December 27, for our holiday episode featuring returning guest Mike Daniel from 19 Hits the Dragon. We just can't get enough of this guy. And also brand new guest David Easley from Trials of the Apocalypse. We're going to be taking a small break on the first week of January, but then the week right after that, on Tuesday, January 10, we will be back with the rest of One Last Job, and I think it still has like 2 more episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe 3. But anyway, as always, we look forward to seeing you there. And now, a message from a friend of the show.
Hi, I'm Conan Librarian, and I don't have my own podcast. I'm a content creator and emissary for obsidianportal.com, a tabletop RPG campaign management site. It's great. Check it out. Your party doesn't just stay at the tavern. Why should your game just stay at the table? Besides that, I appear on other people's podcasts. Sometimes running games, sometimes playing, sometimes just getting to have awesome conversations with great people in the tabletop community. So find me at my socials, Conan_Librarian, and drop me a line. I've been incredibly fortunate this past year, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
All right, let's get back into the adventure.
Who wants to try something next? By the way, since you rolled a 1 and that was your only die, you're not gonna succeed.
Really?
You do not add any successes to the track here.
Perfect.
I guess Florida is gonna go next, and I'm gonna roll secrets.
All right.
Because I'm searching for information about shit, I don't know what I'm searching for information for.
You were looking to make sure there were no orphans or anything coming into the village.
Yeah, I'm looking for if they got any orphans around here. That's a weird task for me. Sure, why not?
Maybe instead of just looking for orphans, you're looking for any potential threats.
Yeah, that sounds way better.
Or signs of danger.
Threats/orphans. Got it. Okay.
There you go. Well, yeah, I mean, they're the same thing. Does anyone want to establish anything about Florida's ability at secrets? With that specifically, we can only say he's the worst, because no one else is yet. But if anyone wants to suggest something else that might grant Florida the ability to do good at this, at finding threats or anything like that. If anyone wants to establish anything, we can.
I do. I got this. I stopped my hacking and my coughing long enough to yell out, because you're what, skulking around? You're doing shadows?
No, he's doing secrets. He's trying to look for threats.
Secrets.
All right, I say, Florida, yeah, you got this the way you pay your taxes every year, right? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, man, my taxes.
Oh, geez.
They're pretty bad. Keep trying to hire orphans to do my taxes, and they never do it right.
Taxes certainly would fall under secrets as an ability.
They do?
In this setting. So, Florida, if you are willing to accept that you are the worst at secrets.
Not money?
It might fall under money, but
we have a skill called money, an ability called money, and taxes don't fall underneath money.
The way I do taxes, they're pretty secretive, damn it. All right?
All right, so Florida, are you willing to accept that you're the worst at
I
secrets?
am willing to accept that I am the worst at secrets.
All right, therefore, your ability rating in secrets is a 1 instead of a 2,
man.
but you do gain 2 points of grit for accepting that fact.
Sweet. Okay.
So as of right now, you would be rolling but one singular d10 against my 3. However, I will say, so you just got that grit. You can spend a point of grit to get 3 dice on a roll by taking a risk. And that would give you 4 total to be rolling against my 3, which gives you slightly better odds.
Yeah, I'll take a point of grit.
All right, so you're spending 1 point of grit. What risk are you taking in searching this village for threats?
I am going to disguise myself with palm fronds.
Okay.
Just in my hat, in my ears, up my sleeves.
Okay.
Coming out of my shoes, all that good stuff.
All right, Brad.
Nostrils. So now I'm rolling 4 d10s.
Yes, now you have 4 d10s that you can roll against my 3. And I did roll another 10.
Oh no.
So that'll be taken away, but that leaves me with only 2 dice that you're hoping to get something higher. So what is your highest die, Alex?
4.
A 4, really?
Oh no.
Yeah.
I rolled 2 4s and 2 1s, boys.
This is an ill-fated expedition so far.
We'll get there.
Will we?
So you do not gain any successes, unfortunately, on this roll either. And the risk that you took was one that was slightly miscalculated, because you start stuffing all these palm fronds into your clothes to disguise yourself as you're moving in. But what you didn't realize is that these are from a very not fun local plant palm. McSmarty face as the resident
Pants.
plant expert. Smarty Pants would have been able to tell you as your plant expert not to do that, but he didn't have time before you shove a bunch of really itchy, awful, like poison ivy style palm fronds in your trousers, and you're getting quite a rash and lose 1 point of stamina.
My trousers.
Boy, we're gonna have another 4 interactions like this. This is gonna be a long, lonely day.
Who wants to go next?
Quick question. This skill that we're doing initially, we have to be the worst at it? Or that's only if someone wants to give...
That's only if someone establishes it.
Gotcha.
Someone has to be the worst at an ability before anyone can be the best at that ability. So
Okay, I just want to be sure how mad I should be at Zach.
it's potentially very useful to get the worst ones out of the way, but it does mean that your first couple of rolls might not be a lot of successes.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so since they've now established that they're the worst at shadows and secrets,
Yes.
I can go ahead and safely do a shadows or secrets roll ability without having to fear being the worst at it.
Yes, and in fact, if anyone else wanted to, they could establish that you are the best at that thing.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting.
I will point out, you can only be the worst or best at like one thing, so you can't be the best at two things. You can't be the worst at everything. You can only have one given ability for each. You can be the worst at one thing and the best at another. You just can't have more than one on either side.
Okay. Now that we've established the recon team is reconning, I shall initiate diplomatic negotiations with the Nrmb'rjuu people. Yeah, see, I remember. See, it's a good name. It's a good name.
Yeah.
Wasn't there an R in there?
Nrmb'rjuu.
Nrmb'rjuu. Thank you, Nrmb'rjuu. I shall go with a secrets roll.
Okay.
Of knowing hidden things.
You're knowing hidden things. You're trying to learn the hidden things of the Nrmb'rjuu people and what they know about the jungle.
Yes, naturally, I will give the Nrmb'rjuu delegates the secret hand sign of friendship and also asking for help. So it'd be something like this.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
You saw that movie.
So that's the classic up yours hello gesture
Yes.
that the Nrmb'rjuu
Yes.
people use.
The space ball.
All right, so as of right now, that means that you're just rolling your 2 dice for secrets. If anyone else
Okay.
wants to real quick establish that Ronnie McDonald the Recluse is the best at secrets, you can do so with a quick anecdote.
Does anybody want to establish that I'm really good at secrets?
Oh, God.
But don't tell anybody, it might be a secret.
Or we can not do that and save it for someone else.
Yeah, I'll establish that. So I just guess I'm just talking to the plants because everybody's gone. So I'm like, hey, yo, remember that time? Watch this. Ronnie's the best. He once got a whole bus full of nuns to reveal that they were having like an orgy. Seriously, just watch this. It's amazing.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yep.
So
Those nuns were quite
So Ronnie's now been established as the best at secrets. So Harold, you can go ahead and mark on your sheet, or however you want, that you have a 3 in secrets rather than 2, which gives you a base of 3 dice to be rolling. So you can go ahead and roll your 3 dice.
Let's do it.
3d10.
Here it comes. 3 dice. Hello, shalom, salam alaikum, the Nrmb'rjuu people rolling.
All right.
Ooh, I rolled a 10 and 10 and a 1.
A 10, a 10, and a 1?
Yeah. Is that good or bad?
You said that very suspect, like...
The 1 still adds 1 more die to the danger pool.
Okay.
But 2 10s are certainly higher than anything I have rolled.
Hey-o.
Which means you're getting 2 successes marked on your completion track.
Love it.
Nice.
And so, what happens is for a moment, there's a bit of a standoff where tensions are rising because you forgot, of course, that you come in using the dialect and the hand symbols associated with the northeastern Nrmb'rjuu people.
Nice.
When in reality, you guys are actually in the latitude that you're really dealing with just the central eastern Nrmb'rjuu people.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
Easy mistake.
Oh, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
It's one of their villages, and it's a slight difference, but it's enough that like there's a little tension rising up. But then they realize you get over the confusion. You're like, oh no, it's fine. You like wiggle the right finger instead,
No, I get it. There's a big difference between East LA and Compton. I understand.
and they get it, and then they begin conversing with you and sharing some information. And as they sort of question where it is that you're going and what you're doing in their village, but you're starting to sort of suss out those relations.
Sure. And I of course carry on that conversation with incredible grace and professionalism and key knowledge of their society. And I speak
All of the things that would be expected of you, of course.
right with perfect accent. I speak their native language.
Yes.
Oh, sí. Oh, claro. Sí. Oh, yo sé. Sí.
There it is. So 3 of you have done your rolls. Everyone gets a chance to roll once, and then the round ends and we go to the next round. So we still do have Mr. McSmartypants and Shaquille O'Neal can make some rolls here if either of you would like to try your hand at doing anything.
Evidently short Shaquille O'Neal, as previously established. Yeah, I mean, I'm there with Ronnie, but as he starts doing that, I take my many glasses and my bottle of Shaq-based cognac.
Say it, Shaqniak.
Shaqniak.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, please drink. Let's all get to know one another. Shaq is really trying to just kind of find out if they know any information about any of these obstacles, maybe specifically the Dragwire Labyrinth.
All right, cool. So Shaq is busting out the nyak and trying to wine and dine these locals a little bit. I would say that's going to fall under our money ability for sort of schmoozing with the locals. Once again, does anyone want to establish real quick whether Shaq might be the worst at money? Or do we just want to sort of let that one go for now?
I say we let it go so we can keep moving and not hamstring him.
Yeah, we need some successes in this.
Yeah, we need some successes.
Let's not ruin the Shaqniak too much. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so now, Shaq, go ahead and roll your 2d10s.
Alrighty.
Roll that nyak.
Ooh, okay, we have a 1, but we have a 7.
Oh my god, okay. So the 1...
So many ones.
We got a lot happening here. Okay, so the 1 means I'm going to add another 1 to the danger pool.
Sick.
I rolled 2 10s. So what I'm going to say happens there to loser stamina is you bust out the Shaqniak and you hand it to one of the locals and they take a sip and it's not to their liking.
How could that possibly be?
And in true Central Eastern Nrmb'rjuu culture, the classic response to being given a drink you don't like is to smash the vessel over the other person's head. So Shaq unfortunately gets a bit of a clobbering there. You lose 2 points of stamina as you're just smacked over the head with this, over the knack.
Ooh.
And finally, so your remaining die, your highest die other than the 1 is a 7. My remaining highest die after removing the 10s is also a 7. So we tied. So you get to choose one of the following for us to tie when we tie. You can do something stupid, which allows you to set my highest danger die to a 1 and add 1 die to the danger pool.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you win this challenge, you add another success to the board, but the danger pool grows. You can get yourself hurt, which sets the highest danger die to a 10. You lose 1 stamina, and then that die is removed, as all 10s do. So again, you win, but you take 1 point of stamina.
At that point, somebody would have to help me, right?
You have 1 remaining. You could spend your grit to regain all your stamina. You could spend 1 point of grit to regain all your stamina.
All right.
Or you can back away and lose the conflict.
It's weird because what I want to do fits into both categories, so I'll let you pick which one it fits better.
Okay.
So I will spend a point of grit to get my stamina back.
Mm-hmm.
However, in an attempt to ingratiate myself with this person who did not like the Shaqniak, I will take my own glass and smash it over my own head.
Yes.
Smart.
Beautiful. I would say that's definitely getting yourself hurt. So you spend 1 point of grit so that you don't run out of stamina. You lose 1 stamina, but you can spend a point of grit as that happens to get all your stamina back. So you're back up to 3. That die is removed. You get another success. So you guys now have 3 successes on the completion track for this first scene.
Perfect.
Yeah, no point crying over spilled nyak, you know?
Yeah.
Hell, I hate this word so much that I love it.
Nyak.
It's kind of painful to say nyak.
Nyak.
Nyak. It's going to be our merchandise when we start to do our line of liquors. It's
Get nyacked.
All right.
2 weeks, 1 yak.
So finally, we do have Mr. McSmartypants, who was just whispering to the plants about how good Ronnie is at secrets. What would you like to do?
I guess I'm just watching everybody go and do this and this turn into a dumpster fire. Maybe is it possible that I make a prayer to, what's our god's name? Scrumptious?
The Scrumbulus.
Scrumbulus.
Yeah.
I'm going to dry blood, maybe giving a sacrifice to make things go better.
Wow.
If I could.
All right. Yeah, that certainly works.
Some divine intervention.
Let's bring in the demigod.
Asking for seeking divine intervention from your eldritch god. Yeah, that would be a blood roll. So once again, does anyone want to establish that Mr. McSmartypants is the worst at blood.
His blood's pretty good, bro.
What?
Everyone seems a little afraid of these now.
He's got some great blood.
I'm gonna do that actually.
Oh, okay. All right. So after you smash your own cup over your head, which does get the local who had smashed you, he grins and claps you on the shoulder. Seems like everything is all good and well after doing that. But you notice Smarty Pants starting to do a sacrifice up on the ledge.
I say, good fellow, my friend. My accent is changing wildly.
They always do. Yeah.
You have 2 concussions in quick succession. Like, that's pretty rough.
My compatriot, I do know of him. He is honestly terrible at anything having to do with religious ceremony. He's supposed to be sacrificing things, but he's always just like cutting the head off flowers. It's not really what the scrumptious scrumbulus really wants. Do you know what I mean?
All right. So, Mr. McSmartypants, are you willing to be the worst at blood?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
So you get 2 points of grit for accepting that you are the worst at blood. Which color are you? Yellow. And now you have 1 die to roll against 6 in the danger pool.
Oh my god.
Never really believed in any of this mumbo jumbo. I'm kind of just in it for the fame and fortune. I got a 4.
Okay. So as of right now, you are looking at taking 1 point of stamina from one of the 10s. I rolled a 10. And you are not succeeding because I have dice above a 4. However, one thing that people can do that I will bring up now, we haven't really done it so far because we've been focusing on the abilities, but there are other things that you can establish about characters with anecdotes. Legends and equipment each allow for re-rolls and additional dice to things that they would apply to. So if McSmartypants might have a particular like legend, something he did in the past that is would be helpful here, or alternatively, if he has like a certain piece of equipment that would make him good at this sacrifice to the Scrumbulus, either of those would allow for a re-roll with an additional die. Or alternatively, you could give Smartypants a scar, which means going forward, he will have a -1 die penalty to anything that scar would apply to, but it does give him 1 automatic success and no lost stamina on this single roll.
Oh man, I'm gonna say, boy, I sure do hope McSmartypants brought that ceremonial knife blessed by the Scrumbulus itself to conduct these rituals.
All right, yeah.
And the piece of equipment is the Scrumbulus blessed knife of sacrifice.
All right, so Smartypants, that is your special piece of equipment that has been established as true for you, a holy knife blessed by the Scrumbulus. That gives you an extra die, and you can go ahead and re-roll. So you're now rolling 2 dice.
Awesome.
Scrumbulus knife. So I rolled 2 dice this time.
Come on, Pants.
Okay.
Because you're still the worst at blood, but now you at least have a special knife that would like maybe help out a little.
All right.
Use that scrum blade.
Ooh, okay, that's a 2 and a 10.
A 2 and a 10? All right, the 10 is higher than anything I have after I take rid of my 10. So you do take 1 point of stamina damage, as the Scrumbulus is a god that very much gives and takes. So is that 2 lost stamina now? No, that's only 1, because that's still the original 10 that I had rolled.
It's the first roll without a 1 in it.
That is.
So you do take 1 point of stamina damage, but you also do succeed in your task, as you sort of make a sacrifice to the Scrumbulus, and you feel like an intense pain in your head for a moment, and you're like shaking your head to clear it. And when you clear your head, your eyes are settled directly on a specific building in the village, and you're sure that if you go there, you'll find information that will be helpful to you in your journey. And so you're being given that step forward in the right direction.
Cool.
How many successes do we have? Are we enough?
You have 4 successes at the moment for this scene. You were supposed to get 5, but I'm gonna be real. this is already looking pretty rough for you guys. I'm just going to let us move on to the next scene.
Perfect.
Thanks, Daddy. DM.
With the information that Smarty Pants gains from divine intervention, you're all directed towards that building where the leader of the village lives, and you introduce yourselves, you make some conversation, and you do gain safe passage further into the jungle. They establish that you are allowed to go there. However, they do warn you that there are many dangers and traps and troubles in the jungle along the path that you seek. And they also give you fair warning that you are not the first outsiders to have come this way. No. There are others who have come before you and may still be in the jungle, for they have not returned.
Were they orphans?
But with that in mind, they didn't ask. They don't know about their parental status. With that in mind, though, you continue moving on. You travel through the jungle, and soon enough you find yourselves with the knowledge that you will soon be entering the Venusian Grove.
Treacherous Venusian Grove.
Sounds so sexy.
Are you eating all our stamina?
No, I'm eating from the bake bin.
Brian, no!
Oops, you're all dead. Welcome back.